Today I will replace my lower triple tree. This repair without a doubt will require more time than my other repairs. I will have to replace or remove the entire front end of the bike. I have to remove the forks, the brakes, the front wheel, and the axle. Pretty much the entire front end of the FZ-07 has to come off. Well, I guess I'll test to see if that brake fluid reservoir cap is leaking or not. This is a scientific test of the brake fluid reservoir and the actual master cylinder. I'm going to leave it like this for like a couple of days and see if it leaks. And that is the top triple tree. I gotta take this off. I gotta get the tool for this. I have the tool already, I just gotta go get it. And oh no, I also got to take it off this this front stand. So, because when I loosen this, the bottom triple tree should just drop out. So I gotta jack it up. Alright, I guess we're pretty secure. We're ghetto secure. Ghetto secure. It's up. That's all I needed, you know. I needed it to be in the air, it's in the air. This is the tool to undo this. This needs to be loosened. reset. Well, it's bad anyways. I need to get that off. I need one of these, I think. This bearing's actually not that bad, but I'm gonna replace it. I'm gonna replace this too. There's a race right here, but it has absolutely no damage to it. Now the manual says you gotta replace these whenever you replace the bearings. But I think I'm gonna cheat. Cause I didn't even order these. I forgot to order these. But from what I can see, there's no damage to it. Usually they're like grooves from the bearings. Usually like the bearings will leave marks up against it. Alright, so now that's the bearing dust cover, and this is the race that the bearing sits on. I have to get this off of here, not because I'm going to use it again, but because I need to press the new race onto this one. And so this is pressed on here, so I got to get this off. It's not going to be easy to get this off. But I have another one of these already. Alright. This is the old one, obviously. I mean, it's still in good shape, but they don't sell these separate, so you gotta replace it. And this is the new one, the new bearing. Now, this is pressed on here. These are the same parts. I have to get this one onto the new one, so I'm going to use this one to help press this one on the new lower triple tree. It's pretty smooth. This obviously has to be lubed. So I'm gonna lube it with this. I'm probably not gonna lube it right now, but I wanna see what this looks like anyways. I need a razor blade. And it's gonna be nice and messy. I also have a new dust seal. So anyways, now I'm about to show you the problem. This piece needs to be pressed onto here. So it seems to fit until you get to a certain point. So I have to press this down to here. Uh-oh. I'm stuck. Oh shit. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna have to figure out how to press this on. Or how to get the other one off and use. I don't know. I gotta figure out something. Because I'm not buying any more tools. Alright, so I got this off, but I did not get it off by grinding through it. I got it off because something told me to put it in the freezer. I put it in the freezer for about 2 hours, got it out, hit it one time, just once, and this came right off. I was grinding, but I never actually made it through. I don't know if that helped, but I put it in the freezer for 2 hours, and I hit it one time, and it popped right off. Now I gotta, I'm gonna see if I can open this up so that when I use it as a press, it doesn't get stuck on the new bottom triple tree. So I just went ahead and grind it right through this. Hopefully this slot, this opening I made will make it easier for me to remove this from this when I use this as a press. So basically, that's how to press it down. Use it as a press like that. And already you've seen it's not gonna. I'm gonna go ahead and do this without the camera rolling, because I'm gonna take it to a secret location. Alright, so I'm back. And I have managed to press on the race. And how I did that was, I took the old one from off of here, cut through it. I cut through it with the grinder. It's a slit in there. Cut through it with the grinder, flipped it upside down. Once I got it to there, I put a pipe over this, got a hammer, and I smashed it down. I smashed it and smashed it and smashed it so it, it pressed itself on. So I'm good to go with this now. I can actually save this and use this as a tool in case I ever have to do this again. And so when I opened it up, my thinking was it'd be easier to get off once I was finished pressing this one on, because this one will also want to press on and stick onto the new one. So with that cut, it made it easier to pull back off. See, I mean, still, I have to hit that. I have to hit this to press this one down. And so when you're hitting this one also goes down and gets pressed down. But like I said, the slit right here breaks the integrity of the piece, and it's easier to come off. So that's done. Like this part right here fits inside the neck of the frame. I mean, I'm not sure what it's called. The frame, the steering neck or steering head, that this goes up into. So this would be on the frame. This piece would actually be up inside the frame. I don't need to replace that because I've checked and I have no damage. I only had 1,700 miles on the bike when I had my little incident. Only 1,700 miles on those races, so I've checked them and double checked them. I wiped them off. I don't see any signs of wear, and they too are a pain to get out, so I'm going to skip that. The manual says don't skip it, but I'm going to skip it because I only had 1,700 miles on the bike. And this is like something that should be done, every 2 or 3 years, I think the manual says, or 15, 20,000 miles. All right, so the bearings are all lubed up. Don't laugh, because this is exactly how it looked when it came out of the bike. I mean, it wasn't all on the triple trees like that, but all this stuff over here was really sloppy, just like that from the dealer or the factory. If you're watching this, you're trying to this is definitely not a tutorial, number one. I'm not a teacher, but my suggestion to you is keep this for next time. As a tool in your toolbox. I mean, as long as you have the FZ-07, I would keep this. This has to be done every couple years. Alright, so let's get into the reason why I even had to do this repair, with the bearings and the triple tree and all this other stuff. Alright, this is a steering stop. It prevents the handlebars from turning past a certain point. As you can see, this one's gone. I sheared it off during my incident. It sheared off. Honestly, I could have rode around with it like that, but I just didn't want to. And I discovered this late, as I was into replacing my forks. And I was just looking at the triple tree, like, what the hell? Where's my little titty that goes right here, my little nipple? So So like, oh man, I gotta replace that. You could ride around without it, or ride around with it like this, but it's kind of like a safety feature. It stops the handlebars from turning past a certain point. All right, so I'm going to show you that race I was talking about. That race that sits inside the steering, sits inside the frame. You know. All right, if you can, it's hard to get a good angle. All right, right here. This is that race. There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. It would be very difficult to get out anyways. As you can see, it has started to snow. I live in a city where at 1 p.m. it can be sunny, but within 1 hour, a foot of snow can fall. Welcome to upstate New York. It's cold, snow has fallen, and there's more snow on the way. But I have this desire to push forward until I can't push anymore. I could be inside where it's warm, but I'd rather be working on the bike. Well, that's gonna have to go on top of there like that, but I have to torque this down first. That's gonna be a pain to tighten up. Here comes the snow. Again. Just that fast. Welcome to New York. The snow has tapered off, I guess. So I'm back at it. Here I am testing the front axle to make sure it's not damaged. If it was damaged, it would wobble while rolling. It looks good to me. So the triple trees are on, forks are on. I'm gonna put the wheel on. I made the mistake of grabbing the front brake lever. I made the mistake of grabbing the front brake lever while the wheel was off, which caused my pads to press together. I'll use a flathead to pry open the pads. It's really hard to work in the snow with just a pair of rubber gloves. My fingers are numb. I wish I had a garage. It must be nice to have an indoor garage with all the latest tools to work on all your latest bikes. Maybe one day. All right, so I've lowered it off of the battery. I had it jacked up and sitting on the battery while I did the fucking had it sitting on the battery while I did the lower triple tree. So I have it off the battery. I've lowered it with the jack. It's back on the stands. The triple tree obviously is the lower triple tree is obviously back on the bike. Now I just have to go back and torque everything. Also, now when I lifted the bike and I put it on the battery, I did not just rest the bike on the battery. I also had a rubber block. This is rubber block that I use. It's rubber. It's meant to, like, give a little without, like. Well, that's enough on this headache. This is done. Repaired. On to the next repair.